Hi everyone, hope you're doing great today. So I'm talking about the startup culture. Today, people are talking about, all the entrepreneurs are talking about different startups that they started, and they're trying to solve different problems through various ways and means, right? Uh, but we all forget one thing when we are actually launching something in the startup world, that profitability is the main key metrics of every business, right? And that's where I come from. All the investors that I've been meeting to, all the founders that I've been meeting to, uh, most of them told me that the top line, the revenues are taking the back seat, and profitability is something that everybody wants to see in the balance sheets. So those days are gone when every entrepreneur was showing the scale or a growth story and trying to attract the investors, consumers, and try to take the startup to the next level. So everybody today talks about what's the bottom line and how you're driving the profitability. Speaking of which, my today's topic is all about how you get the profitability in your business by becoming more specialized. Of course, that's one of the lever that we have it. There are so many founders who are trying to solve so many problems in so many different ways, and they are trying, every nook and corner to figure it out how they can drive better profitabilities. For some of them, it worked. For some of them, it did not. And there was definitely different reasons for that. What it worked for me is something that we are talking about today, right? So, of course, what if I tell you that to get growth, the focus is not about more, it's about less. Isn't it very opposite, right? Because everybody in today's world talks about, how you are growing, what's your revenue, what's your top line, and what's the scale of the business, right? And if I'm telling it to you that no, you should trim down the scale and focus more on the profitability, it's very opposite to what we are talking about today, right? But that's not the case. Imagine when you walk into a bakery and you see they're selling everything, right, from croissant to cakes to milkshakes or coffee, even pizzas, right? How confident you'll feel about their cakes? Not much, right? And you will not likely to buy that, and your decision making of buying such thing will be delayed, right? On the other side, imagine you walk into a bakery which offers just only cakes, and they're specialized in that. How would you feel, and how confident you feel about that? Right? Very much, right? Isn't it very obvious in today's, in our day-to-day life, we all want something very specialized. We all want someone to manage the things which they are expert into, right? But we tend to forget that when we are running our own businesses. Most of the entrepreneurs forget that. Even I did the same mistake. When I was running my own company, a digital marketing company, we were actually trying to do everything for everyone, right? And we said yes to every businesses which was coming to us, be it in real estate, be it in healthcare, retail, you name it, and we wanted to have that. That was not the right approach. And I realized I was burning a lot, in terms of money, in terms of my resources, everything, And I was doing a lot of efforts for very less amount of money. And when I say less amount of money, it's not the revenue, by the way, it's the profits. We were literally bleeding profits. We are not able to make money through that. So what changed? So one thought, of course, someone told me that if you're doing everything for everyone, you're doing for now no one. So become specialized is something that makes a lot of difference. So the game changer move for me was the power of focus, where we decided to go with just one domain. And for us, it was education. It's not like because education was profitable and that's why we selected education to be in, but it's all about we wanted to be focused towards one sector, one specific segment, so that we can understand, we can own that segment, and we understand that audience and things better, right? I'm sure you all will relate what I'm talking about if you think about how specialization works. in your day-to-day life, right? So everything changed that time when I decided to focus in just one segment. And the learning that I got after that is something worth sharing here with every entrepreneur or startup founder that wants to listen to this. No. So why specialization worked for me? Why? There were multiple reasons to it, of course, but but we actually realized, we started understanding our clients better. My clients understanding my company better. They started understanding my capacities, my skill set better. I was trying to understand, I understood better their audience targeting. So everything was worked in a proper sync. And that's where the magic happened, right? But to be very precise, first thing first, what happened is we were able to build that trust. That expertise helped us to build that trust, right? So we were able to deliver what we are committing to. In a nutshell, we were able to walk the talk, right? So we were very precise in our pitches. We were very accurate in our projections. We were very true to what's delivered, what's not possible, all that. Client really liked it, and that expertise helped us to build that trust. To follow after that, what happened is, because we had established that trust and credibility, we were able to command the high premium pricing as well. Trust me, we were the highest price point as compared to what our competitors were offering to. But clients were ready to pay that, because like I said, we knew what projections to follow, we knew what their audience is, we knew what they want and what their problem is. And we were actually solving it pretty good way, really damn good way. And that helped us to get right pricing, and we were actually getting it more. And the third thing that happened is the marketing cost gone down. So we all know that the word called CAC, right? Everybody is aware about it, customer acquisition cost. That's the biggest pain in today's balance sheet of every entrepreneur, right? The customer acquisition cost is something that if you're able to control it, your profitability index goes up. That directly impacts your profitability, right? So our customer acquisition cost gone drastically down because we were able to, like I said, we were able to walk the talk. We are delivering what we committed to. And because of that, we were able to retain our clients better. We were getting more and more referrals. So we didn't realize that we never thought about doing marketing for that. And we never thought of spending so much amount of money to get clients on board. So eventually, my customer acquisition cost gone down. So, and all this was happening because we were specialized. We knew what client want. We knew their problem areas. We knew their pain. And we were actually solving them one by one, better than anybody else in the market. And speaking of which, my system and processes became very robust. Okay. So what it means, I was able to do that job with less number of resources in place. Whereas my competition was, for example, taking 20 people to finish their work. I was able to do it in just 5. Now here we are talking about almost 200% optimization in the cost, right? So I was able to do that, solve that problem, and pretty good damn way, by the way. It's not, like, quality was not compromised at all. So I was able to do that delivery with less number of people, less number of cost in place. And boom, that happened, we got the profitability in place. But that conviction came to me because I was living that. I was doing that practically. When I came out in the market and started talking to all my fellow founders, people in the community, they were literally not very up for it. They said, no, this limits my scale of business, right? Then I really thought that, does this really limit your scale? I mean, if I'm just doing one segment, or if you're just doing one segment, will this limit your business? I don't think so, because like I said, you have to own that space. If you're doing everything for anything, you're not owning it. You're just doing what everybody else is doing in the market, right? So the learning that I got was immense, right? From that specialization or focused approach that I took in that. And that learning was way ahead than the competition. They were not able to catch up. And that's where you get that cutting edge. That's your winning streak, right? So if you really want to have a great cutting edge and winning streak in your business, try to have that strategy in place, being focused towards it. You need more validations for this? Some companies doing it amazingly well, right? My favorite, Birkenstock, they were a footwear company, but then they realized they're mixing it with healthcare. They're actually trying to solve healthcare problem issues with footwear. So it's not just another mom and pop shop, not just another lifestyle footwear brand. They're actually trying to combine it together with healthcare issues. And that's where they wanted to be. The positioning is very strong in that. And because of that niche that they took, they've been valued at $8.7 billion, right? Hit the IPO, boom, right? What else, right? So the flow is one of the great example. I follow this because they selected to be just with one audience, women. That's the niche that they created. They adopted that strategy, and because of that, they got repeated customers. Their loyalty was very high. The customers' loyalty was very high. They were not spending high amount of money for CACs and all that, right? Because of this, they were able to become profitable, and that's why they've been valued at $1 billion plus in 2024. Right? Do you need more validations? I can share more over the internet, but I could cover 2 here. But there are so many companies who are doing so many things in a specialized segment, taking their niche, doing that stuff, shaking profitability in their balance sheets. And by the way, I'm not talking about, when you're saying differentiation, I'm not talking about price differentiation or specifications and product or feature differentiations. It's a cutting edge moat of your business that we are talking about. Right? So it says focus doesn't limit your business, it empowers it, right? Like I said, I will still repeat it and time and again. It says you got to own the space. You got to be the best in the room. You can't be another guy in that room. If you follow that path, I'm sure the profitability will follow you for sure. So before we end, I would like to ask this question to the audience: is when you imagine you are in a room and you're pitching to a client, and there are 10 more people in that room offering the same solution and your competitions, I'm sure you will think about what best you do, right? You have to think about it, that what are you good at? What do you do best? What do you serve best? If you already have that answer in place, that's your magic salt. You're building that up. Your recipe of profitable business is already ready if you have that answer. If you don't have it, I'm up for a conversation, guys. Please come with me. We'll have a coffee together and we'll conversate about it. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.